It's been about 3 weeks since the accident involving Kevin Rodriguez Zavala's at Universal Studios' Epic Universe. Kevin got on Stardust Racers and came back. His face was bloody. From my understanding, this is just what I was hearing from the reports, and he was unconscious. However, the family just recently talked to the news again, and I just want to play a clip and then just kind of go through some of the things that they say.
Kevin Rodriguez Zavala's family says the decision to open the ride is a slap in the face. And they said that's in part because they only found out the same way you did, from the media. They said they never got a call from Universal about it.
So this is pretty normal. A theme park or an amusement park is not going to reach out to you directly a couple of days after this happens. They're going to wait a while to give you time to deal with this kind of loss. I think it's pretty respectful, quite honestly, and I would understand why Universal would not get in contact with this family directly. But they made it very apparent that they were going to be suing Universal, seeing how they had a lawyer within, I would say, 2 days of this happening.
We were all like literally with our stomachs in knots and everything all weekend.
The Zavala family's attorneys say they were in active communication with Universal's lawyers to schedule an inspection of the ride with their own experts.
And we trusted them on that was going to occur before this ride was ever reopened, so that we could all investigate and maybe even work together to find out any safety issues and make them right before the ride was reopened. And they didn't keep their word on that.
So now, Zavala's family says they're not only dealing with his loss, but also the fear that someone else could be hurt on the ride too.
I have to say, I think that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The fear that somebody else could get hurt. Well, Universal is not allowing people to get on this coaster if there's an issue, okay? They've had numerous different people come in and check this coaster out. The ride manufacturer, the state, their own people. They've had a third-party company come in and check this ride out. So they have done, in my opinion, they've bent over backwards to make sure that this ride is safe. And basically what it says to me is they don't like this. The family does not like this. They would not want to hear this. But Universal believes that it was a medical condition that this gentleman had, and that's why he died. It's a very unfortunate turn of events that took place. You hate to see this kind of thing happen to anyone.
I asked his mother how she's feeling with Stardust Racers being back up and running.
Decepcionada.
She says she's disappointed and says the family feels they haven't finished the job they set out to do.
And we're not going to stop until we see a change.
The family does not believe Universal saying the ride is safe. The ride requirements for the Stardust Racers say specifically it isn't suitable for people with neck or back conditions. Zavala was born with a spinal atrophy disorder, but an employee assisted Zavala onto the ride anyway. New ride requirements say that won't be allowed anymore.
He placed his trust in Universal and its employees not to let him board on a ride if it was dangerous for him.
The family also says it took a Universal employee 4 tries to close the lap bar that acts as a restraint on the ride, and eventually had to forcefully push it down enough to get the green light that signifies a lock.
He trusted the training of Universal employees to keep him safe and out of harm's way. Kevin trusted the Universal officials, and that trust ended up being a death sentence.
See, this is what really pisses me off, because Mr. Crump here is smearing these park employees and running them through the gutter, and I think that's absolutely disgraceful, and he should be ashamed of himself. Whether it took 3 times or 2 times or 4 times or 6 times to get that green light, they got the green light. That means that Kevin was safe to ride that coaster. So to sit here and try and say that the park employees didn't do their job up to your standard, which seems to be pretty mediocre at best, it's absolutely disrespectful.
Universal says they did a comprehensive technical and operational review, working closely with local and state officials as well as the ride system manufacturer and a third-party roller coaster engineering expert, and determined the ride systems functioned properly in this accident. Attorney Ben Crump's team says they're still waiting on autopsy reports that they believe will shed a bit more light on what happened here.
That's what's really crazy to me, is they don't even have all of the autopsy reports and still keep smearing the park employees and the park itself. And I just think it's so disrespectful. And I understand that Kevin died on this ride. It's very sad. However, we are talking about somebody that had a disability, and I think that's very important to note, because I believe that that's what Universal thinks. Obviously, they changed their standard, which I predicted this would happen. I knew that this was not going to be good for the rest of the handicap community and anybody else that's in a wheelchair. It's very unfortunate, but it's things like this that ruin it for other people that may not have the same condition in which Kevin had. Well, that's all I have today. I just wanted to go over that. Tell me what you think. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.